Hi, I'm Felipe. I'm from Brazil. Here to talk to Sam about coffee. My family is from the south of Minas, so they're coffee farmers, and it's just like a very interesting day to be able to talk about my family and the region and coffee in general. Something that I'm passionate about, and Sam is also like super passionate about. So this is like a dream come true here.
Yeah, I just want to like hear about growing up on the farm and like was it in your family before your dad had it, or?
Yeah, so like my dad's family, they have been in the region for forever, and
Like multi-generational. Like,
yeah, the farm started with my great grandma, and luckily,
your great grandma started it.
yeah, luckily
Cool.
I was like, my dad was really young when they had me. My mom was also really young, so I got to meet my great grandma and grow up with her as well.
That's awesome.
Her name was Alice. Alice, yeah, and she loved coffee, and my granddad and all my uncles are coffee producers, basically.
So it's just like the whole family is in the business.
Yeah, so they initially had like a bigger farm, and then it split up through like the whole like family. I think there are 6 brothers, and all of their families are also like in the business of coffee.
Okay. Like on their each individual sort of like.
Yeah, they all have like a different farm that produces like in the region. But yeah, it's like I pretty much grew up around it. All my summers I would spend at the farm with my dad.
Sick.
And it's just really nice. I remember clearly like one of the things that I like to do the most is like drying the coffee.
Yeah.
So basically when they pick the coffee stays in like a huge area just to like kind of sun dry.
Yeah. So it's like mostly natural process.
Yeah, it's natural process, and basically what you do is you go around with I don't even know the name of the tool, but like you go around with like something to kind of like.
It's like a rake, kind of.
Yeah,
okay.
kind of like a rake, and you're turning the coffee away.
Yeah.
I think every day you have to turn the coffee a little bit so it dries evenly.
It's very Zen garden.
Yeah, it's so good. Honestly, it's exactly like one of those like Zen garden tools.
I love seeing like the photos of them on the patio because it's like you don't understand the scale of it.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah,
Like it's so much coffee, right?
Yeah, and like that was the way that I could work, because I couldn't pick coffee because it's too hard.
Right.
Like, you know,
They're like, here's a
I was
job
just
for
like,
you.
yeah. My dad's like, oh, you can do this, and I really liked it.
Oh, that's sick when you're a kid too, and you feel like you're helping. Yeah. And you are, you know, like it's a part of the process that has to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I remember it was right by the patio. It's a huge patio. There was like a washing machine too.
Okay.
Like the coffee goes through like a washer.
Yeah.
And it was sick. Like sometimes I would get into the washer and it would be like, it's a summertime, and play like full on and
It's like running through the sprinkler.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
it's so
sick.
good. I remember when I was younger, my granddad and my dad were like discussing going organic.
Okay.
I think they did so in 2003. And that was like really unusual at the time. Like not a lot of like farms were doing like organic coffee.
Did they go all organic?
Yeah.
Wow.
My granddad and my dad actually like they work in the farm. My dad lives in the farm.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of work.
The soil is precious to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's cool. What was their like? What was their initial reason? Do you know? Like, was it for soil preservation, or was it?
Yeah, I think my grandpa specifically, he always had a sense. Like my grandpa is like a very not a scholar, but he's a very intelligent man.
Yeah.
He's never been through like like formal study, but
School of Hard Knocks.
yeah, that's what it is. And I feel like he just understood a lot about the world and like how it was changing at the time. And he was like, this stuff is no good, like pesticides and stuff like that. And he just decided he wouldn't use them. And I think he had a sense of like the amount of work that would entail, but he was like, I'm gonna go for it anyways. And it's good, it kind of spread throughout the region. Like most of the farmers there are also organic.
Well, it seems like it's worked out for him.
Yeah, so I'm glad to see that most of the farmers in the region are like always also like, yeah, this is how we're gonna do things.
Yeah, because it entails more than just not using pesticide. It's like increased biodiversity and like
yeah, it's a really beautiful region. My dad has like free roaming like parrots that visit
Wow.
him every day. It's sick. It's like really idyllic when I think about it. I'm like, dude, this is like stuff that if you tell someone, they're like, this is insane. Like,
I mean, every photo I've seen, it looks like paradise, you know?
yeah,
Like,
it's really beautiful.
hearing about parrots that just fly in and chill.
Yeah, they're just chilling there. Is that the new Ethiopian coffee?
Yeah,
or-
this is this new one. We're doing a cupping of it, so I'll set one up for you, and we can both cup it.
I would love to try it.
Expand your horizon.
Yeah, here we go.
Do you guys do a lot of cupping at the farm?
Not at the farm, but at the co-op.
Okay.
Yeah. So Karma Coffees now. My uncle Jacques is he runs it, and like they have been specializing like doing cupping, testing.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, to see that is like really great, because at the farm like that never happened before. But they
Well, and it shows too, like how quick things are progressing. That even just domestically, to like keep some of that coffee local. Yeah, I'm just gonna grind this up. So cupping is just like trying to reproduce the exact same cup a few times over, so that if there's repeatability, we can tell that the coffee is consistent. But if there's something off in each one, then you know, we'll go back to the drawing board with the roast. We do a 9-minute time cycle, and I start with 10 grams of coffee, and then I brew a finished batch of 140 grams. So it's like 14-1. Just trying to get everything saturated there, so there's no like dry stuff sitting in the bottom. And then I just like kind of smell through before, because it's still pretty hot, so there's no way you can really taste it yet. I'm just like smelling it to see if it smells good.
Yeah. What made you like gravitate towards coffee, Sam? I know that you've been in the game for a long time now.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just, I fell into it. Like working in a restaurant, like doing dishwashing, making coffees and stuff like that. And that was like, making coffee was my favorite part of the job.
Yeah.
And then a friend that I worked there at that restaurant with, he was like, yo, you should definitely like go work at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people that own this coffee shop on Roncesvalles called Cherry Bomb. I don't know if you've been there before.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
it was like the first real coffee shop I worked at.
Yeah.
And I loved it, man. It was like so fun.
Yeah.
Just like, it was like working in the most fun retail job that I'd ever had, but actually getting to make stuff and handing a thing off to a customer and seeing them just be stoked on it. I was like, man, you don't get that with other retail jobs,
Yeah.
you know? Like, they go home and then they try the thing on and then they're stoked. But
Yeah.
with a coffee, it's like you get the
Instant.
immediate satisfaction of being like, yeah, I did it, and they love
Yeah.
it. And I don't know, it was a really nice place to work, and like the people who own that shop are really cool. It just gave me the best impression of the industry.
Yeah.
And then through that, I got into like the competitions and stuff, and I met a lot of cool people through that, and I was just like, this is for me. So
Yeah.
I kind of just put my head down and decided that this is what I was gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that. I think seeing from the outside, a lot of it is like finding the right partnerships in a way. I really love St. James on Rock. You know, with Robinson Bread.
Oh, it's such a good partnership.
It's like, I don't know, I go there, I have like a little Danish, my coffee, and that's how my day starts, like completely right.
That new Danish right now, the rhubarb one. Yeah, it's amazing.
For the longest time, I was trying to go there and get the hint cherry pie,
Yeah.
and I couldn't. They sold out too
Sold out.
quickly.
Yeah, that one slaps too.
But yeah, a few times I was like, early enough that I could get the hint cherry pie.
Lucky guy.
Yeah. Good. And always my butternut Americano. Just that, no milk or anything like that.
Well, this will throw you for a bit of a loop today then, because these are like much fruitier than the butter knife.
I like it. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad.
I'll give you a bag actually to take home.
No.
But yeah, this is like kind of counter to the butter knife. Like butter knife is really simple. It's really like chocolatey, peanut buttery, like just the perfect coffee to like wake up with in the morning.
Yeah.
Very comforting, no surprises.
Yeah.
Not gonna shock you, but this has a lot of like complex fruit flavor. I'm definitely like perplexed by at first sip. So like, I think you'll like it. And it has a really nice crisp acidity. It's not like sharp or acidic at all, but it's really like alive.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like the butter knife is really subtle and like smooth.
Yeah.
If you want, you can have the first, you can break the crust. Breaking the crust is like where you push the floating stuff away and you get like the first sort of smell of it.
Okay.
You don't have to taste it yet. You just sort of smell through. You get really close to it. You can kind of detect some of that like fruit profile.
Oh, for sure.
And then you can just dip it in one of these cups.
Thank you.
I'm gonna smell this one. Yeah, like on the surface, it smells like baked brownies or something, and then you get that first push. You get a lot of that fruit flavor, the aroma. It kind of reminds me of like a bubble gum too.
Yeah, it does have like a little note of bubble
I
gum.
was trying to describe it earlier,
Interestingly, yeah.
and I was just like, it's purple. I don't know how else to say it, but it smells and tastes purple. And then I just start scraping all this oil off. Just because like, if you leave it on there, you might think that the coffee has less bitterness than it really does. Because the oil can kind of clog your taste buds and make you taste or perceive the bitterness as less.
Oh, interesting.
So if we clean this stuff up, I get a much better idea of what the coffee really tastes like. But it's similar to like the mouthfeel on the body of this is similar to French press. It's like a full steeped coffee. No paper filter. And there's really no way to like cloud what's going on here because it's just like coffee soaked in water. There's no pressure to change the extraction. There's no paper filter to change the clarity of it.
I see.
You just get the best impression of it, or the most honest impression, I guess. But it's still pretty hot, so I'm gonna let it like cool off after 9 minutes. I'm gonna get some fresh cups, and then we'll start tasting it. So I'll get you this cup because basically when we do the like the tasting, I usually don't drink it just because it's like unfiltered coffee, and you can get really over caffeinated pretty quick if you drink it.
Oh, really?
Well, it's just that you're drinking a lot of like particulate and actual coffee solids,
Gotcha.
and then when your first sip, you kind of want to spray it so you sort of slurp it in a really like closed sort of way, like I purse my lips. But immediately, I don't know if you noticed, it's like very fruity,
It is.
but it's not light like lemonade or anything. It's really, it's juicy.
So the goal here is like try to go for consistency within the cups.
Well, they're all from the same batch, so they should be consistent, but I always like to take the sort of devil's advocate approach and be like, let's assume something's wrong with the coffee. Let's find it. And if we don't find it, that's a good surprise. But I never want to like assume that all of our coffee is perfect and that there's no flaws or anything. So if we can break it into a few different cups like this and try to find some fault with it, we can refine it even further.
Let's see. Kind of like you said, like there is like it's not acidic, but there is some.
It's snappy and
Yeah.
it's like alive up front.
Yeah.
And that liveliness kind of opens up into all the other like complex flavors. Like I said, I get the bubble gum in the finish. I get this like kind of grape lollipop right up front.
Yeah.
but there's something that's like biting into an apple, you know, like
Yeah.
that, like kind of like crisp, like aliveness about it.
Yeah, this is great. This is actually expanding my horizons a little bit.
Well, this is a good place to start, but the best way I find to like expand your coffee vocabulary and like your palate and how you taste things and how you pick up on subtlety is to compare different coffees on a cupping table. Because right now when we're cupping
The same.
the same coffee, and if you cup coffees tomorrow, you're comparing today's memory to tomorrow's coffee. But when you cup coffees side by side, you can clearly be like, okay, that's what an Ethiopia tastes like. That's what a Guatemala tastes like. That's what a Colombia tastes like. That's what a Brazil tastes like.
Yeah.
They're very clearly different from one another, and it's easier to like put that into words when you have them side by side.
Side by side.
Yeah. Instead of trying to like remember what it tasted like yesterday.
Yeah.
But this is more for like quality control, like
Absolutely. Yeah.
trying to determine if there's anything that we could do better with this coffee.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it's funny that you said it. There is like it's a complex aftertaste, kind of like there is like a fruit. I can feel like a fruity like aftertaste in it. It's really good actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I love how sweet it is.
Happy that I tried it. Like maybe next time.
You got an
when I go to
Ethiopia.
the shop,
Yeah.
I'll be like, can you get me an Ethiopian?
Expand my horizons.
Yeah.
Well, we do another blend. I don't know if you've tried the other one, the In Bloom. We don't really serve it in the shop.
Oh, you don't
It's,
serve it in the shop? Damn it. No,
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
butter
trying
knife
it.
is what we serve in the shop, but the In Bloom is it's 50% Ethiopia and 50% Guatemala right now. And so it's kind of got a nice balance of like the chocolatey, like nutty flavors with
Yeah.
the fruity flavor of the Ethiopia. And we roast it a little heavier than we roast just the filter coffees on their own, so it has that like the richness of the butter knife,
Yeah.
but a different profile and flavor.
I see. What's the difference you feel like between like a blend and a single origin, like a Brazilian coffee or like a Guatemalan coffee?
It's a good question. I think with filter coffees, like single origin coffees, we don't blend them because I want to highlight the expression of what that single coffee is from a specific place or a specific farm. And I feel like the method that you brew it for filter coffee really lends itself to highlighting all those subtleties. Because you're brewing like a batch of filter coffee, you might brew, it might be like a 5-minute brew time, right, from start to finish. So you can really get all the subtlety out of that extraction in 5 minutes, where what we reserve our blends for primarily is for espresso. So if you brew an espresso, that's like a 30-second extraction.
Yeah.
There's such a limited window of time to yield as much extraction as possible. And so I find when we make coffees that are too complex for espresso, that complexity gets lost. Where if we make coffees that are really simple and balanced for espresso, they work much better. And so that's kind of like the two approaches that we take for how the coffee is going to be served. Determines how we roast it and if we blend it or don't blend it.
Interesting.
Are you a cold brew guy or hot?
I am a cold brew person in the summer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's something about like a nice Americano, just that. It's like just hits in the summer. Yeah, June is a cold brew month.
Well, that's when we start to use the In Bloom a little bit more in the shops for cold brew because it's such a refreshing profile.
Yeah.
The butter knife's really rich and chocolatey and nutty.
Yeah.
The In Bloom is also rich, but it's more like this, right? Like more candy, more fruit.
Yeah.
It just makes such a nice cold brew.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you want a cold brew to be refreshing. So yeah, this was lovely, by the way. Thank you so much for that.
I'll send you back home with some.
And this is actually not released yet.
This comes out on Friday.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So this is a sneak preview for you.
It's perfect.